Welcome to the initial or the first episode of Burn and Learn, a new podcast that we've come out with. We're super excited to have an opportunity to share some thoughts around the aficionado lifestyle with you. And so again, this is our intro episode, and so we want to do introductions. By way of introduction, my name is Steve Mann, the creator for a company called Stogy Hub. We'll spend some time going into that in a few minutes here. Local guy from Northern Virginia. Went to college locally here. Spent most of my career in the DMV in corporate roles, and have recently shifted to more entrepreneurial ventures, which is how the concept and the thought around creating this podcast came into being. So that's me. Chris, a little bit about yourself.
Sure. My name is Chris Kim. I live in the area, Reston, Virginia, to be specific. My background's in software. So specifically, I test contact center software for a living. I manage a team of software engineers. And so went to school at Purdue University and came back here and I work remote. And so I just love to smoke cigars.
Gotcha. Well, we're super excited about our podcast. And again, we're actually live right downtown in Leesburg, Virginia, at Rebellion Bourbon Bar and Kitchen. So Rebellion, as you may be aware, has a cigar room on the third floor. We spend a lot of time here, so it was only logical that we selected this venue for our podcast. So super excited, and so I think we would spend some time today just talking about some of the sticks that have resonated, sticks that we like. We want to give an update on Stogy Hub, the company. And so with that, I think, Chris, we brought sticks to light up today. What did you bring?
I brought us Drew Estate Undercrown Maduro.
Okay.
I've had this. I bought these about a year or two ago. Forgot what the makeup of the cigar is, but I think it's a Maduro wrapper. Don't quote me on that.
Okay.
Let's cut and light.
Undercrown.
Yeah, Undercrown Maduro.
Okay, perfect.
So what are you using today?
So I've got for my punch, I'm going with a punch. I've got the Davidoff Duo Cut punch. So that's what I'm using to cut the cigar. What do you have as it relates to the cutter?
Oh, I have a Dunbarton and Tobacco Trust cutter.
Okay.
So it's called the Guillotina de Saca. So it's really cool. It's a replaceable blade as well.
Okay.
And it's got like this little thing where the plus says the plus sign is for 50 ring gauge and over, and the minus is for 50 ring gauge and under. So you really can't screw it up. It kind of prevents you from overcutting because some people will overcut. So this one's 50 ring gauge. So I'll just put it like this, and then just cut it. And it cuts out the perfect amount.
Gotcha.
So it's always convenient. What are you using to light with?
Yeah, I've got DuPont Legrand. And so this is relatively new. I just think I got this shortly before Christmas, and these just came out. I had my eye on this for a while and was able to pick one up. So super excited. I've only used it a few times, but super excited to give it a try. I think the thing that's interesting is that over time, as you spend time as an aficionado, you develop or you have a changing in your taste, in your palate for cigars. And that's happened to me, probably has happened to Chris. But I think what you also find is that you have an evolving palate for the accessories, right? You have an evolving palate for the ritual of not only smoking, but the whole lifestyle, right? So for me, I'm as excited about the accessories as I am about the cigars, right? So for me, do I have the right cutter for the cigar that I'm smoking? Does my lighter, for instance, have a matching set with my cutter, right? Does my case match all of that, right? So things I didn't necessarily care about in the beginning, as your tastes evolve and you grow and build, so does your appreciation for the accessories. And so at least that's my perspective. Would love to get, Chris, your thoughts on that as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely. When I first started smoking cigars, I was using cheapo accessories.
Yeah.
But when I started kind of reading up on, the different kind of accessories and lighters and cutters, and then watching YouTube videos and, people using different accessories, then you kind of get a feel for what you want to, partake the ritual, I guess, right? Partake in the ritual with.
Sure.
And so today I'm using a Dunhill Roller Gas.
Okay.
It's a vintage. I believe this was made. I believe this one is from the 70s. So this is probably a 50-year-old lighter.
Okay.
Got it for a really good price, and it's a soft flame lighter. So yeah, I really like it. It's like nice and small, and yeah.
So a lighter like this DuPont, relatively easy to get, pretty expensive but easy to get. Where do you get something like that? You said that's 50. How old is that?
40 to 50 years old.
Yeah. How do you get something like that?
So certain websites will do it. I got mine from eBay.
Okay.
There's tons of them on eBay under $200.
Okay.
So brand new Dunhill is probably $1,000.
Okay.
But for different websites, you can buy them. Typically, a lot of these I've noticed come from like either Japan or like Europe.
Okay.
And that's where I got mine. And so I think I got this one for about $100.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and I think this is a better value than just buying it brand new as well.
Gotcha. It's really nice. I like that. Yeah. Okay. Well, we're gonna go ahead and. I think the thing that's interesting is that when you think about the ritual of lighting a cigar, I guess there is technically a wrong way to do it, but there's a number of correct ways to do it, right? And so everyone's got their own touch. Everyone's a little different, right? So, I tend to light mine and let it sit or rest for a second or two. That's just my preference. And then after the rest for a couple of seconds, I may toast or retoast the edges just to make certain that it's completely lit before I take the first puff.
What I like to do is I just like to I just toast it with either a soft flame or a jet flame.
Yeah.
And I just kind of blow on it to see if it's orange all around, so the outside and inside. And I just keep kind of going at it. Try not to do too much of a direct flame on it.
Yeah.
So we're maybe right above. It's a little windy in here with a smoke eater, so it's almost there.
Gotcha.
It's pretty good. Especially on the retro hill.
So this is medium bodied, huh?
Medium full.
Okay. It's not bad. Undercrown Drew Estates?
Yeah, Undercrown Maduro.
Very nice. Cool. This is good. It's really good. So I think, what's interesting is that, as you and I chatted and we came up with this concept and we decided to do this podcast, like, let's share a perspective on why we decided to do the podcast, right? Like, so I can give my perspective and then certainly happy to hear your perspective. But for me, like, I like to spend time sharing and gaining knowledge from folks that share a common interest in mine, a common interest in mine. And so when you think about that, like just having a community come together where we can talk and think about interest and topics that are of interest is one thing. We want to share. We also want to share perspective and provide information to folks that are new into cigars, right? So again, Chris spent some time sharing his thoughts around how to use a straight cut, right? Like, I've been doing this for a while and I still struggle with using a straight cut, right? So I'm not a guy that's going to pull that cutter out first, right? There may be a time when I need to use it, but it's literally my last option, right? I'll go to the punch first, then I'll go to the V cut. And then if I can't use either one of those, then I'm struggling through the straight cut. So, how do you share with folks how you use a straight cut without cutting the complete cap off of the cigar, right? Which a lot of times you see. So, one of the things around the podcast is just sharing that knowledge and wisdom with folks and helping bring them along, right? Second is just taking an opportunity to decompress, right? Like for me, having a cigar with friends and having discussions about almost anything is a great way to cap off a busy day, right? And so When you think about how busy our schedules are, calls all day into the evening, it's certainly relaxing for me to have an opportunity at the end of the day to go spend time at a lounge or a place like Rebellion, where I can just take an opportunity to have conversation with like-minded individuals and share thoughts and perspectives over a stick. So that's like the second thought around the podcast, and then third, certainly interested in growing a following and sharing information with other folks that share common interests from a business perspective, right? So part of our podcast, this Burn and Learn podcast, is sharing information, but part of it is having an opportunity to spend time and interact with like-minded folks and develop those corporate and business-related relationships. So those are the three reasons why it's important for me. And again, I think without it being said, we obviously want to have fun, right? And so, that's an unintended upside of entering into this. So that's what's important for me, right? We'll not only talk about cigars, cutters, lighters, accessories, but we also want to share an opportunity to share information not relevant to the aficionado lifestyle, right? What's important to people right now? What's of interest to people right now, right? What do you think about, our macroeconomic environment? What do you think about our political environment? What's important to you right now from a sports perspective, right? And so we'll get into all of these things in the Burn and Learn podcast. And so again, we certainly won't be doing all that in the first or even the second episodes, but over time we'll build some value and some delivery through some of those other channels. So that's kind of my thoughts. Chris, I'd love to get your thoughts on that.
Similar to yours, kind of educating people. So one anecdotal experience I guess I had was maybe a couple weeks ago. I was at Cigar Town in Reston. This was kind of the lounge near me.
Yep.
And I met this gentleman. He's about 10 years younger than me, in his mid-20s. And I had met him the first time. His first time really smoking cigars. And then I had seen him a week later, and he came in with his girlfriend. And he was about to light the cigar. He just put it to his mouth and just put the jet flame in and just suck in, right? And I'm like, hold on, no. So I sat there and I taught him how to toast a cigar, how to retrohale, just kind of educating him on the basics of smoking a cigar. Sure. And, kind of made me think, even with all the different media out there, I think there'd be a lot of value in kind of informing and educating people on the cigars and the lifestyle and whatnot.
Sure. Yeah, and I think it's interesting. I mean, because there's a lot you can read, right? But there's nothing like having an opportunity to interact with people directly. There's a lot you can see, videos online, etc. But I think the value that we bring here is that we're going to have guests on that are, resident experts in some of the topics that we're going to be talking about. Again, we're going to have folks here that, own cigar lounges. We're going to be talking to people that have boutique cigar lines, right? We're going to be talking about people that run restaurants that have created 24-hour cigar lounges within their restaurants to cater to a growing and evolving aficionado audience, right? So super excited to share our perspective on a lot of these things. That's really interesting, and I'm certainly looking forward to that. I think the other thing that I'd love to spend some time on as I think about evolving as a cigar smoker and evolving as a collector of great cigar accessories is, the opportunity to have a conversation around the accessories, just like we have conversations around the cigars, right? And so for me, I get just as excited about the accessories as I do the cigars, but that creates a very unique dilemma, right? Because you certainly can collect and smoke cigars, and after you buy a cigar and you smoke a great cigar, that's a great experience, but that cigar is gone, and it opens up an opportunity for you to go buy that next great cigar, right? What do you do when you have a beautiful DuPont or whatever your favorite lighter is, and you love that lighter, and you use it every day, and it's become your favorite, but you see that next lighter in the window, right? How do you... And it's not always a financial decision. It's sometimes a psychological decision, right? Certainly I can go and buy it, but should I go and buy it, right? And so I'm always faced with that dilemma, right? No matter what accessory I have, I'm always looking for the next great thing. And so as I thought about that, I'm like, okay, if I have that issue or I have that challenge, certainly there are other folks in the marketplace or out in lounges around the country that have that same issue, right? And so from that dilemma, again, it's all upside, but from that dilemma was born the initial thoughts and concepts around a new venture that I'm creating called Stogy Hub, right? So what is Stogy Hub? It is a consumer to consumer online platform that will allow cigar aficionados to buy and sell cigar accessories. Again, not business to consumer, consumer to consumer. So I may have a beautiful DuPont Legrand, right? I may have that lighter for a couple of years, right? And I love that lighter. But DuPont, in its infinite wisdom, has just come out with the brand new Legrand, and I've got to have that, right? So right now, when you have that scenario, you have that issue, what do you do with the DuPont or the Legrand that you have right now that literally there's nothing wrong with? It's in perfect shape, right? Some people will go to a number of different highly fragmented websites to see if they can sell those accessories, right? And so, including myself, I've had that experience, going from website to website to try to monetize, accessory A so I can upgrade to accessory B, right? And so multiple opportunities to try that, mostly without success, really served as the foundation for the initial the initial platform for Stogy Hub. So what I want to create is the preeminent online marketplace for all aficionados to be able to come together, join the platform, and buy and sell amongst each other, right? And so I'm just bringing the platform together, bringing people onto the platform and allowing them to transact, right? Because I do know if I can sell the accessory that I no longer want or need, and monetize that and get me, funding or cash for that next great thing, then I don't feel as bad or guilty about buying it, right? And so again, it's psychological, right? So if people are like me, I've got lighters and cutters, humidors, all stuffed in boxes and drawers, right? So I'm happy to say, like, when we launch Stogy Hub, like, I literally will have, like, the first batch of products will be basically me emptying out my old humidors and boxes down in my basement, right? And so I'm hoping that over time, other aficionados, other folks will see the value in the platform, will be inquisitive about the platform, and will set up a profile and just see what we have to offer. So super excited about that. As it relates to progress, it's been a super busy couple of months. I mean, I think I formalized my business plan around this probably the 2nd of October. I almost immediately went straight into user requirements and documenting that and interviewing website developers. And so we've made a lot of progress in a very short period of time. I couldn't have done it with the team that's around me, so I'd have to thank them for that. But with all that being said, we are getting to the point where I feel like a launch or an introduction to the marketplace in the beginning of February is entirely possible. So we're super focused on that and excited. So more to come as we launch additional episodes of Burn and Learn. But I wanted to spend some time on this episode sharing with folks, my vision around Stogy Hub, why I think it's a great idea, why I think there's value in the platform. Hopefully others will agree.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So how will Stogy Hub differentiate itself from some of the other online marketplaces?
Yeah, I think when you think about it, I think the creation of community will be the real differentiator, right? So there are platforms where folks can sell humidors, travel cases, lighters, etc. And I have had that experience and using some of those platforms. The challenge that you have is that you're posting a very niche product in a very generalized platform, right? So if I post a lighter on one of those platforms, I'm looking for a few people that have an interest in that lighter out of literally millions of folks that are looking for other things, right? And so I think my true differentiator will be, I know that when I post my lighter or I post my cutter or a humidor, everyone that's looking at those products everyone looking for sees those products has a potential interest in what's being marketed, right? So I see that as a true differentiator. But for me, I think the real value is making certain that people understand the value of the platform and engage with the platform. So I'm looking forward to launching and allowing people to test it out and provide feedback to me on how improvements can be made, so that we can become that preeminent online marketplace for all cigar aficionados.
I think we'll wrap it up now.
Yeah. So like I said, we're super excited not only about the Burn and Learn podcast, which this is obviously our initial episode. We will evolve and get better over time. We're looking forward to the opportunity to do that. So we want to say thank you to Justin and James at Rebellion Cigar Room for providing the venue where we can, have an opportunity to tape the podcast, smoke a great cigar at the same time. So with that, if you want more information while we're waiting for the website to be launched, you certainly can go to the website now, stogyhub.com. You can subscribe by dropping in your email address, or you can follow us on Instagram at stogy.hub, and we're keeping that current, and we're keeping updates on our progress on Instagram. So feel free to follow us there. And with that, we'd like to again thank our sponsors for letting us share the venue, and we look forward to the next episode. Thanks a lot. Everyone have a great evening.